So what does a student do? Now, fortunately, we have a clue hidden in the word itself. If you look at student, break it into three parts, and then expand each of those three parts, you realize that as a student, you simply study your dent. Now, let's look at how this plays out. First, study. We think we study things like math or science or English, but you're the one studying. You're looking through your perspective. So you're not really even studying math or English or science. You're studying your perception of math, English, and science. So you're using these things like a mirror to see you. So if you want to be truly honest, you don't study subjects, you don't study things, you don't study events, you study you because it is yours. You are yours. The only thing you really have in this world is you. Everything else fades, everything goes back to dust. You lose relationships, you eventually die, but you get to keep you. So that's why you want to study you. And that's all you do anyway. But you're doing something very particular. You're studying your dent, your indented image. Something was given to you at the center of who you are as a spiritual being, at the center of your soul, is this image. And you don't know what it is. It gives you this sense of amazing and greatness and possibility, but you can't turn it on. And that's the problem. You keep trying to study your dent, but you don't even have the spiritual light to do that. You need the one who created that image, that indentation that's hidden inside of you, to bring illumination and then instruction on who you are. So studying the image indented upon your soul requires the master engraver. So to look a little closer here, once you have the master engraver, how does a student then study? Well, first, as mentioned before, you only and always study who you are. You can't even study the master engraver because you're studying through you. So his revelations conform you into his likeness. You can't actually learn about him. He conforms you, and as he transforms who you are, you indirectly then are learning about him through yourself. So even when you study history, or you study your thoughts, emotions, and actions, or you study the Creator, it's all about you. And that's the only way we have to learn. You look through you look through your eyes out into the world. You look through your soul to the Creator. You can only learn through you, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, you also can't learn about who you were either. A lot of times we like to look at the past, and you'll hear people say this, you might have even said this, this event, this horrible event, I used to think it was the worst thing that ever happened, but now I realize it's the best thing. You say, well, no, wait a minute, did the event change? Well, no, the event's still the same, but you, the one looking at the event, has changed. So that's why you can look differently on the past. You can see who you were then, and it's always different because you're looking out from who you are right now. And of course, if that's true, then you also don't study who you will be. And this is the great lie of human education. Human education tells students if you study hard, if you work, if you do what you need to do to get the grades, then you can be who you want to be. And that, of course, is the biggest lie pervaded in this fallen world. You can't do anything to become someone. You must become someone first, and then you can do things, which is why you need the spiritual engraver, the original Creator himself, to come and conform your soul. Then you can express that work out to the world. So you don't work to become, you become, and then you work. So you can only study from, through, and to who you are now, which is why you can't work towards becoming someone new in the future. You only study from who you are now, and that's set unless a being greater than you comes into your soul and transforms who you are. Then you can look out and see something new. So why does a student study anyway? Why even go through this? Well, first you want to know your dent. Particularly, you want to know who you are. And if you want to know who you are, that means you don't know who you are. And that's the first step to realizing you're a student. You don't know, but you want to know. You also want to express your indent, your image. You want to give it out to this world. You want to show the world something it's never seen before because the world's never seen you. It's never seen your particular spiritual nature, has it? However, if you don't know your spiritual nature, your spiritual image, how can you show it? And of course, the answer is you can't. But you don't just want to express, you want to impress. You want to conform this world into a unique expression that only you can bring. But you can see the dependence here. How can you impress your image if you don't even know your image? And of course, you can't. So this whole system breaks down unless you have the master engraver. Now you say, well, but if I imprint my indent, it's going to be a disaster. And of course, that's true. Your spiritual darkness, your decay and death. As you express that, you're going to be ruining everything. However, that will prepare you and arouse the faith-based desire for the engraver's instruction. If you think you already do know yourself and you can express and impress, then you don't need him. You're good on your own, right? But when you express yourself, when you impress what little you think you do know, it'll be a disaster, and that will bring you to your knees to cry out for the engraver. So who is a student then? What are some defining attributes? The first and most obvious is a student is one who doesn't know. If you do know, then you're not a student anymore, are you? You already do know. You don't need anyone to give you knowledge. However, even though you don't know as a student, you do know who is the one who does know. That is the Creator himself. Now, you don't know him fully, but you know that he's the one who has the knowledge. You desire him, and this is what is called faith. You have faith that he knows, and only he knows. Now you think, well, as soon as he gives me knowledge, then I'll know, right? Well, no. He's infinite. So if he gives you infinite knowledge, all that's going to show you is that you're not infinite. So his knowledge, when it fills you, it shows you how much you still don't know. And that is how you live as the eternal student of the Master Engraver. Every union you have with him, every moment he fills you with knowledge, it just exposes how much you still don't know. Now, one of the gravest marks and distinguishing marks of a student is being like the teacher. So not only does a student not know and know the one who does know, but it's the one who goes unknown. So look at the Creator. How often do you see him tearing apart the material veil of this world and showing himself to the world? Pretty rare, isn't it? So if you're going to be his student, learning his ways, his knowledge, you're going to become, your soul in particular, is going to become unknown. You're going to become this spiritual foundation. And you're going to let anybody in any part of creation, including your mind, heart, and body, to just come and build on you. But a foundation doesn't get seen, it's buried. So you will go unknown. Your soul, like the Creator, will go unknown. And that's the highest mark of a student in the created world. So you're the engraver student, and then you turn to creation and you become the engraver. But the engraver doesn't present himself above the world. An engraver plants himself beneath the world and lets creation come and build on him.